Welcome to this edition of SAC News in Focus. I'm Aron Hernandez. My first guest today is the director of Z Joined, a new web series in production here at SAC. Joining me now, Chris Cannon. Chris, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Aron.
First and foremost, for those in the audience who don't know what Z Joined is, can you explain what it is?
Absolutely. It's a web series that's going to progress over the course of about 2 years. And it's about a group of college students at a university who randomly get placed in the same living space in this house. And the reason they get placed in the same space is because all of their last names start with Z.
Oh.
That's the title.
Makes sense.
Totally. And as they live and progress and go through college together, they experience a lot of various things in their lives. And also with the education system of which they're a part. And the series is a satire, so it's going to be funny, we hope. That's what we're working for. But at the same time, it's making a lot of social and political commentaries on a number of issues. But the main one is sort of the idea of the collapse of an American education system and how it isn't really serving students, nor elevating the idea of education. It's become a bureaucracy that doesn't really help someone come through and gain much. And so we wanted to make a commentary about that because we don't think it should be that way.
Right.
Is that there's a lot of really great professors who work really hard, to give to their students what they think they need to go out there and then, to get a job and to join the workforce or to follow their dreams or whatever they want to do.
Right.
And the system doesn't support either the professors or the students in doing that. And so the series is really going to make a commentary about that. And a number of other issues will come out as well.
So kind of like debunking the whole, like the system doesn't help me kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And perhaps it should.
Yeah.
Right. And we kind of want to make that statement is that it absolutely could. But when it's set up the way it is now, you're going to get some of the scenarios that are played out in the fictional reality of these characters.
And speaking of like the actors, how do you deal with like them graduating or just moving on out of like the series?
Absolutely, that's a great question. We thought long and hard about that, and then basically we just made them stay for 2 years. That's what I said when you're cast, you have to stick around. So what we did is when we first got to the casting of the main characters, of the ones that we would be following, we told them that this would be a commitment, a 2-year commitment by accepting the role, because we want to follow them. We want to get to know these characters. We want
Right.
the audience to identify with them and then kind of anticipate where they're going to go and how they're going to end up. So that you'll come back and try to find out. So the idea of them remaining was always the original concept. But things happen in productions such as these. They happen all the time.
Yeah.
In which for whatever reason an actor may not be able to complete the project. So at that point we would do like what a lot of shows do is write them out, and have them a big epic exit of some kind, right? And then let them go on to what they need to do. But that hasn't happened yet, and we hope it doesn't.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Besides being a director, what are some of the other roles that you take on in the show?
Well, I act as producer and showrunner, as well as direct, episodes here and there. And so my role as producer has been pretty exciting. I really like doing a lot of that stuff. It's a behind the scenes role, and through that role, I've gotten involved in a lot of the marketing and the discussions on and plans on how we will house this thing, how we will get it out there, how we'll share it with the audience, who is our audience, and everything from scheduling locations to staff to support personnel who have to be a part of this. Making a film, making a series, making any type of production requires a lot of different people contributing a lot of different skills.
I would assume, yeah.
It really does. It's one of the things I love about it because it isn't a solo endeavor. It's impossible for it to be. It can't
Right.
be. And a lot of people on the outside, don't always know that because when you look at it, you see the actors first and foremost because that's who you're identifying with those characters,
Correct.
and you may know the director. Some of the other leadership positions, but you don't really know the day-to-day staff that make this thing happen. And so as a producer, I get to work with them, and that's one of the highlights of doing this. And they're made up of both professionals and students, which was part of the vision of this project, that both of those groups would work together to create something.
Right. Yeah. And finally, for those students who want to get involved, who want to know more of like the production aspect or being an actor, how can they get involved? Like, what are some of the requirements that they're supposed to take before jumping into the web series?
For actors, just a desire. It's a good idea to take some of probably the intro to acting class I would recommend, and then the camera acting classes, because then it's not so much you get just thrown in the pool and see if you figure out how to swim. But even if that is how you come to the series, which we've had a lot of actors do that, and even over the years when we were doing some other movie productions, sometimes that was their first ever, and that's how they got in. So even if you come like that, the entire project is designed to where we want to help you get the most out of it.
Right.
Because it's supposed to be almost, it's like an on-the-job training. It's like it's a professional endeavor in the sense that we produce it as a professional web series, but it's also it has educational value too, is that you get to get on a professional set and try out whatever it is you wanted to do, whether it was work with a camera or sound or be an actor. So you absolutely can come to it as you are, and we're interested in that, and that we can kind of help you get out of it whatever it is you wanted to get out of it.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. An actress from the series is my next guest. We'll be right back.
It's always been a dream for me to be able to play like college softball. Like, I never would have thought I would have been here at Santa Ana. It really meant a lot to me when I found out I got the scholarship.
Scholarship money is a huge, big asset and benefit to our student athletes here at Santa Ana College. We can imagine the burden that the student athletes have. They're spending like close to 6-7 hours a day with softball regarding games and traveling and things of that nature, and also be a full-time student. Out of our 22 players, 20 of them have jobs.
Having to work during season is like the most stressful thing, and so having a scholarship, I don't have to worry about like having a little part-time job to make sure I have food or could buy the things that I need. Now I could just focus on softball and my academics.
I believe Santa Ana College has more scholarships available than a lot of the other community colleges.
I didn't even know that there were so many scholarships out there. I didn't even know there was that much money out there that people are willing to help you move forward in your academic career.
Our coaches really emphasize like school always comes first. To them and to me, academics is like the most important thing.
Like you've heard the saying, academic student first, student athlete. We're pushing importance of academics.
After winning this scholarship, it really helped me because I was like, okay, if I really study hard, like I'm gonna get good things out of it. So I think it just motivated me in that aspect. I got 4.0s most of my time through college.
When I went to the banquet, I was so grateful to be able to meet the people that are actually helping me move forward. They're really in it for the students and the athletes.
One of the biggest contributions that you can make to help all of the student athletes so they can go further in their education, it will help them get to that next level. We all know that the more good there is out in this environment, it's going to help everybody, and everybody will benefit, especially our local community.
People like me and other students who have low-income families in the Santa Ana area, people who work really hard in school like should be rewarded. So I would just say thank you to all the donors because it really helps a lot of people in many ways.
Welcome back. My next guest is an actress and the lead marketer on the web series Z Joined. Joining me now, Lexi Ginn. Lexi, how are you?
I'm feeling great. I'm real happy to be here. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. But we're really here to talk about you. Besides, being an actress, what do you do as lead marketer?
Oh my gosh, well, what don't I do as lead marketer? Since we don't have a team, it's just me and whoever the producer is for that episode. We produce content for the social medias, the website, and we're making a premiere, an event, which will happen on December 13th. Look out for that, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll throw a link down there.
We'll put a link for the website. And we'll get some flyers. I set up photo shoots. I talk a lot with the actors and the crew. I'm like a know-all being. In order to market something, you have to know everything about it.
You're just everywhere.
You know, It's like the boogeyman. It's me. It's perfect.
So you're also an actress in this series. Who do you play?
I play Mackenzie Zaleski. She's not somebody I would like to anger. She's very emotional, and she's got a lot going on. It's going to be a really interesting arc for this character.
How do you how do you get into like her character?
Oh my gosh! Well, she's
Like, is this some sort of like method acting?
right.
kind of
No,
thing?
I'm not method acting here. That's why our cast is so fun. None of us are so hardcore method actors. We're able to like just come into our character immediately. It's really it's a skill that I see with the other actors. How I become Mackenzie, a lot of it helps with the costuming. I have to thank Sarah Turner. She's our costumer, because she wears something completely different than I am, and I put that on, and I feel like I'm this other person, this different kind of character. And I wrote a whole synopsis of like what's happened in Mackenzie's life, so that helps, and I just think about that.
So you base yourself off of like the synopsis that you wrote?
Yes, I've that with what the writers have given me. The writers have given me a lot through their words, but I worked with the head writer, Allison Volk, and we kind of created a character for Mackenzie, and a lot of it is based off of what I created, of what happened behind the scenes or before. So behind the scenes or before the scene that we see, there's always something that happens. A character just doesn't walk through a door like from nothing. They're like, welcome to nothingness. No, they something happened before, and then they'll complain or talk about it to the other character. And so working on that really helps with Mackenzie.
So taking on two completely different roles as like behind the scenes as, you know, a marketer and on camera as, you know, Mackenzie.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
It's a lot of time management, a lot. It's great because I get to work with everybody. So I know the director, the producers, the writers really well, and it helps me, I think, more with my craft. I want to put my best foot forward with what I'm doing so that when I sell it, I'm like, yeah, it's good. So it helps actually, more than anything, but it's time management. Those timers on your iPhones, I highly suggest using it.
And what are some of the takeaways that you're getting from being an actress and or the marketer?
Right. Well, the takeaway for this, I know you and Chris talked about how it's a 2-year project.
Yeah.
And the main 5, we signed our souls to 2 years. It's very interesting because usually you get on a project and you do it for, the longest one I did was 2 months. I was an actress for this character, this film, and then it's done. But this is the time span of 2 years. You really get to know each other. I didn't have like close connections to my cast at the beginning of this almost 6 months ago, but now I do. And it's just interesting character-wise what you can pull from it because it's so irregular. But I've learned a lot from that, and I'm excited for the journey that we're gonna have, the 5 of us and the directors, and it's gonna be great. And marketing-wise, oh my gosh, I could go into an entire job field for it now with all the knowledge I've gained from Z Joined.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. I appreciate that you took time out of your day.
Yeah, thank you, Aron.
We'd like to thank our guests once again for joining us today. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel and Twitter page. We'll see you later.